Hi everyone, so this video is going to be my end of January updates, and I'm going to start with my Cycnoches. Alright, so this is my Cycnoches peruvianum. So basically what happened was I noticed that it was rotting at the base. I'm not sure why, because I haven't watered it since I watered it once when I received it and that was it, but it was rotting, so I decided just to cut it. And I also cut off the flower spike, just waiting to see if any of the eyes will grow. You can sort of see it's a little bit shriveled, but not very shriveled. So potentially it'll be okay. If not, I'm just gonna get another one. And this is Mormodes rosea, and it actually has 2 growths, which is good, but I'm not watering it yet. And this is my Vanda coerulescens. It's almost in full bloom. I'm gonna wait for these guys to open. Hopefully they open before these ones go bad, but I think I'll take another bloom video once all the flowers are open. And this is my Aerides houlletiana. And one thing I did was I tried to push the roots closer to the tree fern with some string, but it hasn't really grown any new root tips yet. Another thing I did was I added this bamboo stick through the tree fern because it would slide up and down, which I don't want. I just want it to be stable, so that helps to stabilize it. And this is my Gongora portentosa. It still has that new growth, and it's growing pretty slow, but it's growing pretty steadily, so I think that's good. And this is my Aeridocentrum Gewgaw. So I separated the keiki from the main, or the mother plant, and I threw the mother plant away because I think it's too far gone in terms of like resolving the fungal issue. I'm not sure if this is doing very well. You can see that this leaf is starting to turn yellow, and the velamen on one of the roots has shriveled. So just seeing how this goes. And this one is my Paraphalaenopsis laycockii. One thing I notice is growth on this has sort of stagnated. I mean, there's a new leaf in the middle there, and I think it's growing, but overall it's quite slow. And I noticed that the media has stayed wet for more than a week, so I'm thinking to add more either leca or something just to make it more airy. I think that might help. And this is my Dendrobium draconis, and its new growth is doing very well. It's actually pretty well rooted now, so if I push on it, it's not going to fall out of the media. And that little thingy at the top is actually a keiki, so I'm gonna wait for that to get bigger. I'll pot it up and I will probably donate it to our raffle table. And this is my Clowesia Rebecca Northen Mikabi, and it's in spike, which is really good, although I really want to repot this before it pushes out any new growth. But obviously I don't want to do it while it's in spike, so hopefully it won't push out any new growths until the spike is done. So that's on my to-do. And this is my Dendrobium igneoniveum, and has new growth right there. I'm hoping it'll do well because this guy in the back kind of just gave up. And this is my Dendrobium formosum. The growth in the back is doing well, and then it decided to push out another growth here, which is good. And this is my LC mini purple. It's doing well. One issue I have is it's growing outside the pot now on this side, and then on the other side it's starting to do that. So I need to repot it, but I don't have a big enough pot. And for ones that have a wider diameter, they're also quite deep, which I don't want. I think I prefer like the height that I currently have. So what I might try doing is dividing it, but putting it back in this pot so that the growths are facing the middle. Haven't decided yet though. And this is Dendrobium chapaense, and it has a new growth over there. Kind of slow to start, but it's still alive and I think it's doing well. And this is my Ctsm gladiatorium crossed with barbatum, and I repotted it in a much, not necessarily larger, but taller container because I wanted a larger reservoir of water at the bottom, which it now has. So for this plant, what I did was, instead of cutting off all the roots, because I know that this one has a tendency to shrivel, I cut off half because If you have a look, the roots are quite intertwined with the media, so I only kept half of it, just so it was easier to repot, and then I cleaned up the rest, well, like semi-cleaned up, so that way if I need to water it so it doesn't shrivel too much, it can take in the water. And this is my Phal javanica, and it's not doing super good, but I can see there's one root or new root tip that's growing directly into the media, so I think that'll be fine. And this is Dendrobium bilaculum, and the older plant is blooming again, so that's awesome. And this is my Bulbophyllum pectinatum, and it doesn't really do much for me, so I decided to put it on a heat mat. I replaced the styrofoam with plastic because styrofoam is a good insulator and I want the heat to radiate through. But I just did that pretty recently, so no new growth or anything yet on this. This is Bulbophyllum Kalimpong, and it's pushing out a new growth, which is awesome. And my Brassavola red form, although it's not very red, is still in bloom, although I think it's starting to fade. And this is my Renethera monachica, and it's in spike. Can't remember if I mentioned it last time, but I ended up cutting the leaves here because they were having brown spots and I don't want that to spread. This is my Ctsm aurea, and it's pushing out a new growth there, which is great. And this is Cycnoches gemata, and it's pushing out a lot of new root tips, and I can see the roots have actually gone into the tree fern, which is good. And this is my Phal subprecii. I still haven't thrown it out yet. I think I probably should though. I think I'll throw it out. It's very unlikely that it's gonna grow anything new. And this is my Masdevallia amplexa, and it's still blooming, which is great. And this is my Phal no ID, and it's still in spike. And all the buds are facing the same direction, which is awesome. So hopefully the bloom display will be really good. And this is Ctsm violacea, and has 2 growths on it, so that's awesome. Already, last but not least, I want to share Coerulescens schmidtii. It is in spike, which is awesome. I've never bloomed a Coerulescens before, and I'm really hoping that it'll bloom when we have our spring show in March, so that'll be something cool to show to everyone. Alrighty, so that's my video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!